Welcome to the Oscars. The Zero Oscars.
Hey, Kylan, did you remember to script the intro to the episode of the Zero Oscars?
I didn't know I was supposed to. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. You were supposed to do that. I texted you about that, dude. It was you.
Welcome to episode 16 of the Zero Oscars podcast, scripted by yours truly in the moment as we speak, because John didn't want to do it. This is it. This is the episode. We did it. We're joined today by me, Eli, who is the host of the Zero Oscars podcast, which you are now watching, and other hosts.
Kylan, also a host of the Zero Oscars, which you're now watching or listening to. I like all of our viewers.
John, friend of the show, host, enemy of the show, co-host.
And last but not least, Sam Wilson, mathemateer, mathlete, and math man, Bob-de-bee-ba. Sam, please intro yourself.
I'm Sam. I own this show.
Beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Do I only read the lines that are highlighted on my script?
Please do. Word for word is what we're reading, including the ums. So next we're going to talk about what are you all watching? Skibbity bebop.
Skibbity boo.
What have you all been watching recently?
Well, I've been watching a few things. Obviously, it will have when this episode comes out, people are like, "That's old news," but football is back, so I've been watching a lot of that. But in more of the TV and movie demographic, I've been watching season 2 of The Boys, which is just beautiful. I love it so much. And I started watching Raised by Wolves on HBO. It is a Ridley Scott sci-fi series, which is pretty good. Highly recommend it. I've watched the first 5 episodes, and I think there's 8 this season.
If I may jump in quickly, I've also been watching The Boys.
Yeah.
And by God, that show is incredible.
It's so good.
I don't want to spoil anything, but gosh, there's some moments in that show where
It has the saddest line I've ever heard on screen. In that, and this isn't a big spoiler, but I had to sell Prince's guitar. It just broke my heart.
I know one thing about The Boys.
What?
I think there's a death baby involved that can shoot lasers out of his eyes or something.
That did happen.
I too saw the Michael Reeves video.
Yeah, that's the only way I actually know about The Boys.
That's fair.
What have you been watching, Sam?
Yeah.
I watched the animated Milan recently because I had I'll Make a Man Out of You stuck in my head. So I thought, well, to get this out of my system, I might as well watch the whole movie.
Fair.
That makes sense.
I just finished Phineas and Ferb for the 7th time.
You're a trooper.
I'm getting geared up to watch the new Phineas and Ferb movie.
Oh.
Making another?
They are making another. It's out on Disney Plus pretty soon.
Yeah. It's their COVID truther movie. Ferb's one line is, did you know only 6% of COVID deaths are actually by COVID? Let's said in a British accent so we can trust him.
Yeah.
Eli, what about you?
Oh, thank you, John. I have watched...
No need to thank me. It's just in my script. I'm reading it as is. This line I'm also reading as is. Back to you.
It's in my script, so I'm obligated. I've watched 3 films.
Polite laughter.
3 varying films from the studio audience. The first was The Carrier, which is a strange film. It's like a horror
The sequel
thriller.
to Carrie.
Yeah, it's about Mariah Carey. Where this guy gets this disease where everything that he touches, the stuff he touches doesn't dissolve. But if he touches something and then someone else touches that thing, then they dissolve.
What?
It's a real jump kind of a scenario. Long story short, there's a beautiful line where basically the town devolves into two warring factions, and they all scream at each other, death or cats, and then there's a massive fight to the death. So I don't want to tell any more. That's pretty much all you need to know. Death.
That sounds amazing.
It is amazing. It's really
Earlier
bad.
in the movie, is there a fight to the cats?
What did you say, Sam?
That earlier in the movie, is there a fight to the cats?
No, sadly. Cats can like detect the disease or something. I don't know. It's very confusing. They're hoarding cats.
Yeah.
Next, I watched Guns Akimbo, which is like Nerve but with Daniel Radcliffe. It wasn't very good. His accent is not great. But I love Daniel Radcliffe, so I still gave it 3 stars. He gets guns stapled to his hands, and it's just him running around a city like, someone help me, and then everyone screams and runs away. So it's very enjoyable. And then I watched The Spy Who Dumped Me, starring Mila Kunis, Kate McKinnon, and other people. It wasn't very good. It had some severe tonal problems where it wanted to be a comedy and then it wanted to be a serious spy movie where people die all the time. So not very good. Wouldn't recommend. That's what I've been watching. Also, The Boys Season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just remembered. Not that I would ever recommend this in a million years. God, it was horrible.
The Boys.
But I went through all of Too Hot to Handle on Netflix recently.
What is that?
So it's this reality show where they bring 9 people on an island, and they tell them they can split $100,000 at the end of a month if they don't have sex with each other. But every time they do kissing or more, they get money deducted from the total. And they're all like, this is the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. But I feel like I would do much more than just not have sex for $100,000.
You have to split it. You have to split it amongst everyone, right?
They don't know that.
What?
They think that someone is going to win.
Oh.
Yeah. And at the end, it's like, you're all winners. And it's kind of cheesy and stupid.
Oh, so they're not trying to sabotage each other? Because I thought the premise was like, there's $100,000 pool, and you've got to trick people into really horny situations.
No, they're not trying to sabotage each other. They are all being like, don't do this, you idiots.
So it's actually like a no-fap support group.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is.
Well, except you prefer to do that, right? Are you allowed to?
No, that's it. That's about $10,000.
What?
Sex is $20,000. Kissing is $3,000.
Those totals don't add up.
Yeah, it's a wild show. And man, are these people really bad at it.
I wish it would have been John's, because then someone just comes in with a saxophone, starts playing. Everyone else loses immediately.
They have a boombox with Peter Gabriel's In Your Eyes.
If you have a boombox or a saxophone, you win that 100,000 immediately.
Kenny G is on the island.
Is that Chuck Mangione?
Worse.
So good to be alive.
I thought you were going to say it was the show. It was the show. What's it called? The reality dating show on YouTube. It's like Love or Host. And it's Twitch streamers, and it's like, and it's like one guy is brought on, and it's 10 women, or whatever the corresponding preference is. And he just gradually eliminates each person. Every 20 minutes, he votes somebody off the show, or whoever the main person is. I found it because there's a clip of one of them, and it's a guy. I have never seen any of his other stuff, but he's called Wilbur Sue. And it's just a super cut of him eating 3 bananas over the course of that show, while all these Twitch streamers discuss what simping means. And at one point, my favorite is this. It's this very loud-spoken Irish woman who's a streamer, and she's just like, "You're a second banana," and it kills me every time. Anyways, that's nothing left to add. I just said that because I could.
Well, similarly, I'm sure there are some people in this show who eat at least 3 bananas over the course of the entire season. So.
Yeah.
John, I'm glad you mentioned simping because it leads into our film that we watched for this week, where simping it transcends bodies and mind. This week we watched
Dream a Little Dream from
Dream a Little
1989,
Dream.
starring the two Corys, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. God
Yeah.
bless them.
God bless their
God bless Corey Haim.
Listen to me. You're gonna have to listen to what I'm about to tell you. It's the absolute truth, but you've got to believe me, okay? You have to use all your faculties. You have to be willing to suspend your normal patterns of thinking. You've got to believe in what I'm about to say.
You're not working with the young Republicans, are you?
Oh, this isn't effective. Ike, come here. Come here. Look at me. Ike, it's me, your best friend, Coleman.
Come again?
So I guess our first thing is we do our time synopses, where the hosts get these non-coveted 2015 and 10-second slots, and our beautiful guest of the week gets that sought-after 5-second slot to summarize the film. I don't know who has what of the hosts.
Does this screen share look right?
It's not full screen, but we can see it.
Oh,
I don't think it looks wrong.
I think it looks yes. Does that work?
There we go.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. All right, who wants 20 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go John.
I'm the least prepared for it, so I like taking the 20-second slot. But this is bad for me though. I should have taken the 15. I'm a fool. I should have let somebody else take the fall for it. All right. Okay, I have not prepared. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's a Corey, and the Corys wake up. And the Corys, they're not having a good time. There's an old man. That old man and his wife. His wife is maybe cheating on him with his best friend, but it's all good. They seem into it. They do a meditative experiment. He trades bodies with young people. They learn to appreciate what it's like being a young teen in the late 80s, early 90s. And they do some body swapping.
Beautiful.
Not really.
I thought for a second when he started laughing, you were going to pull a Sobiak and say, I want all the time back.
I would never do that. That would be so unprofessional and embarrassing.
Not something someone with tenure would do.
Yeah.
Eli, do you want the 15?
I'll take the 15.
All
All right. Count me in.
3, 2, 1, go.
The two Corys, really only one Corey is important. The other one doesn't matter. They accidentally hit a meditated old man who likes Eastern philosophy. They body swap. For whatever reason, the old man wants to kiss on this young girl, and then they swap back.
It's coming back to me how many elements I missed that are so crucial. But oh well. Kylan, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Old man who looks like Dick Van Dyke but actually isn't, ends up body swapping with Corey Feldman, who's, interested in this girl. Corey Feldman kind of plays a villain and kind of tortures the old man who ends up doing stuff in his life.
I appreciate the commentary added to it's not You're not here just here to recount the facts, you're here to comment on them.
They need to know it's not Dick Van Dyke. I went through at least 5 minutes thinking it was.
It's so crucial. It is. Well, it's like the Lonely Lady one. This is not whoever that guitarist or whatever it is. It's not Jerry Lee Lewis. It's all right. And with the coveted 5-second slot, Sam, are you ready to summarize all of Dream a Little Dream in just 5 seconds?
I believe so.
All right. I'm going to count you in. 3, 2, 1, go.
Freaky Friday, jump cut and montage compilation.
Ooh,
Beautiful.
Bad.
With time to spare.
Man, I think this really influenced Freaky Friday. Freaky Friday would not exist without this film.
It's so true.
I did not like that from you, Eli.
It's sort of like Corey Feldman's laugh.
That's how I laugh.
I guess we can, since that's at the beginning of the movie, we can just easily segue into the plot synopsis.
Yeah. So it opens up and the Coreys are having random conversations in one of their houses, like
Presumably, one of their penthouses.
So, and in between conversations, they're having like the credits roll up and some dude singing some jazz stuff, and then they have like a conversation for 3 seconds and it goes back. I kind of enjoyed that because some of the conversations were funny.
I did not like it. I did not like that editing one bit.
The editing was not good, but I thought it was funny at points. Specifically, when at the very end, Corey Feldman says he had a dream about the old man on the shortcut to school, and Corey Haim just goes, "Bobby, that's just stupid." I loved it so much.
I thought you were going to mention the editing point at the end where he gets pushed to the ground and then just phases out of existence. But it's not for any plot reason. It's just that they've intercut it so weirdly that he's now a ghost phantom walking around the streets.
The editing was so weird, but I think it adds to the fun.
So just to sort of set the tone, Eli, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Would you say that Corey Feldman is A, more well-spoken than Ferris Bueller, cooler than Ferris Bueller, or all of the above?
Those are my only options.
Yeah. Do you need more?
I would have to say he's more well-spoken when he's the old man.
Touche. Except that's not Corey Feldman.
Yeah, it is.
No. His voice, it's by his voice. When his voice is more gravelly, then it's Corey Feldman.
It's a Batman situation.
When his voice sounds like this, it's Corey Feldman.
When it's more
when he says, "Swear to me."
Where's Rachel?
Rachel.
Sam, what were your thoughts on the editing of the movie?
It was probably the best editing I've ever seen, honestly.
What? Have you seen Kylan Loves Doors?
I've never actually seen a movie before, so
okay.
That does make this the best.
You just read about them?
Really quick about the ghost thing. In the, when it goes to the title and it's the old man singing "Dream a Little Dream," notice that at first there's no one in the audience. He's in an empty auditorium, and then the auditorium's full of people. And in my notes, I have written down "ghost?" ? I thought his old man was going to be like haunting an old like stage production theater. Turns out I was greatly surprised when that was not the case.
Later on, when Corey Feldman and that girl are dancing, like with all the old people around them, the old people just disappear at some point, and they're left dancing with no one there. And it's not like a cut where it's clear that time has passed. It's just, they're there. The next second, all the old people are gone.
Also, there's a huge rush. Why do they stop to dance with old people?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's what they were in a rush to do. That was the urgency.
Yeah.
The ticking clock.
All right, so after the opening editing stuff, they're like on their way to school. They cut through this old man's yard. He's like, "Hey, kids, don't do that." Real get off my yard kind of guy.
Yeah.
But they don't for a while, and then their neighbor sprays them with stuff, like some red liquid. So
blood. It was lamb's blood, I believe.
Yeah. So Corey Feldman sprays the neighbor with lamb's blood. Then the old man, his wife, and friend spend like the day hanging out. The kids go to school, hang out. There's just a bunch of hanging out.
It's just a bunch of vibing. I have a question that I'll pose to you guys. Did you guys understand about the old people, about the couple and the friend? Did you get from that they that the friend and the wife, Gina, that Gina and whatever their friend's name was were having an affair?
Mm-mm.
I did not get that.
You guys didn't get that?
I thought that was implied.
I thought it was implied too.
What?
There's so many levels to this movie. There's so much depth.
The first time we meet this friend, he goes and he's like, "Gina," and then they just kiss, they just kiss a whole bunch. So
and
it's like,
they say something like, does he know? And
Yeah.
she goes, he'll be busy doing his meditation.
completely missed that.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really obvious plot point. So I was really confused that the whole thing was like they're really committed because I was like, maybe this is why Gina doesn't want to wake up.
Maybe that's why she's packing up.
It was like Gina's packing her bags.
I do want to bring up that the friend is played by Harry Dean Stanton. Who,
It's Corey Haim.
Yeah, Corey Haim. Corey Haim. But yeah, the old man's friend, whatever his name was, is played by Harry Dean Stanton, who is like a big deal actor. Roger Ebert once said that any film that had him as a supporting actor could not be bad. And then after seeing this movie, he had to get rid of that as a rule. He was the Apostle Paul in The Last Temptation of Christ, which I mentioned, I believe, last episode. So, or two, whatever.
Maybe.
Do you think that's why they put lamb's blood in the trap?
I think that's
That makes
partially
sense.
why.
Yeah.
It's like a
Apostle
callback.
Paul never died. Yeah.
Do you think Harry Dean Stanton was having the affair to get back at the old man because the old man's lamb's blood garden sprinkler was turned against the friend?
Gotta be.
Yeah.
He told
It
him,
wasn't the first time.
It wasn't the last.
he told him the HOA is not going to stand for this, but he put it there anyway.
I think he's the HOA president, and that's why he's so upset.
All right.
So,
So
Yeah, back to business, guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Corey Feldman is as Eli mentioned, is simping for
hardcore.
their other friend's
Hardcore.
girlfriend. And I think they keep mentioning their other friend is crazy, like he's
Mm-hmm.
a psycho, but they're really good friends with him.
They call him well-adjusted Joel.
So one night, the old couple's out doing some weird yoga stuff which was like the experiment is what they called it.
The
They
grand
never
experiment, yeah.
they never explained what they're doing, I don't think.
Before that, wait, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, before that, it's right after they spray the lamb's blood.
Mm-hmm.
The old man goes, "I need to enter the dream state," and that's the only thing you hear about it before this, this whole thing.
It's
Was
true.
that he's trying to enter the dream state.
It is
Now, I thought he was talking about Nevada, but I was wrong.
Get me out of California.
I think that's what his wife thought, and that's why she's trying to move the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just really bad at communication, which is
That's why
why
she
his
has those
wife is
tickets
cheating on him.
to Las Vegas. But yeah, they're doing a meditative experiment, and what he's trying to connect his energy to the earth. So I didn't get this from the movie itself, but from the Wikipedia, it summarized it as saying that he's trying to perform an experiment so that he and Gina will live forever.
Oh.
I don't know how he's going to get there from doing waving his arms around.
Also, this guy's a professor, and he's all in on this pseudoscience.
Mhm.
Well, you say that, Kylan, but it worked.
Yeah.
It kind of worked.
Well, it was
We
an
don't-
experiment.
We don't know if the point of it was to switch bodies. It could have been. We don't know.
It's more of a botched experiment than pseudoscience, then, though.
Yeah.
We're all about scientific accuracy here at the
Yeah,
Zero
yeah.
Oscars.
Literacy, yeah.
So what? Simping Corey Feldman, his name is Bobby, I think, is like racing because he's trying to go find what's her face, the woman, the girl he's after,
It's Lainey, but it's actually Gina.
Gina.
It's not Gina yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, but he at first thinks that Gina is in the body of Lainey, right? That's what's
Well, this is-
understood.
This is
how we get it,
afterwards.
I think. Yeah, I haven't.
We weren't there yet.
We're about the collide, and then that's
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, yes.
the old couple
Which-
doing magic yoga,
Mm.
and then
Laney's with
understand it.
with well-adjusted Joel.
Well, adjusted Joel. It's like a garbage pail kids.
So I have your consent to move forward, and Laney says no, and he says, "I respect your decisions."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
right.
if only I wasn't such a nice guy.
She ends up running away from him because they're like get together on some like in some park, is not going good, and she gets on her bike, and Corey Feldman is running the same direction, and they're go through the shortcut through the old people's yard and run into each other, pass out, and then
They just totally die.
yeah,
Yeah.
then you wake up and
Like
the
kids
first
do.
thing, yeah. Well, he's not a kid. His name's Bobby.
James.
Bobby
Keep the
James,
change,
keep the
Bobby
change.
James.
No.
Sam, that's a flashback to a previous film we've seen.
Oh, he listened to the episode.
Oh, yeah.
He has it
of course.
memorized.
Yeah.
See? What did we say right after that, Sam?
You said the next plot point in this movie.
That's
my
what he
gosh,
said. That's
he's
what he
right.
said.
But Bobby wakes up.
It's also, I think it's also important to note here that the old people just straight up disappear.
Yeah.
Yes, they are like gone. Their bodies are nowhere. And then Bobby wakes up, and the first thing you see is Corey Haim's beautiful face. And he's like, they're like, dude, you have amnesia. And he's like, what? And it's the old man in that body.
He's in Bobby's body, or Bobbity. Also, is Corey Haim, his character's name is Dinger? Dinker?
Dinger?
Donkler?
Yeah.
Doinklesmang? I don't know. All right, so yeah, Dinger, which is a great name for a real person.
A real human.
A real human being. Yeah, it's sort of alarming. The classic look into the mirror. Who's that? It's Bobby James. He runs out of the house. He runs to go find Lainey, aka maybe Gina, but he gets stopped by the police or something because he's a child.
Well, he tries to go to his house at first. And his neighbor's like, what are you doing here? Get out of here, kid. And he's like, what? And the neighbor's like, get out. And he's like, okay. So he runs back. And then he goes to sleep. And when he goes to sleep, he sees Corey Feldman in like a dream outside their
As
house.
we all do.
And only this time it's a nightmare.
And Corey Feldman's like, man, you're messing up my life. What are you doing? And he's like, also, your wife's in their package. She's going to leave, and you're never going to get her again.
Strangely nonchalant about everything that's happening.
Yeah, Corey Feldman's just
excited.
cool with it.
That is, I think, a very interesting change, because you would think like, oh, this young teen who's chasing after this girl. He's probably pretty upset that he's trapped inside his own mind that has no control over his bodily functions. He actually likes it a lot.
Yeah.
He's like, finally, life. It's gone.
Yeah.
He's like, my life sucks, and it's all dreamy here.
Which honestly seems like a great situation for both parties, because you as an old man get to live a whole nother life, but then Corey's like, I don't want it. I'm good.
And he like refuses to tell him how to switch back.
Yeah, Corey has the solution, and he just refuses to say, which we'll get to it, but I still don't understand what the solution was, if anything.
I also want to talk about that, but that comes up at the end.
We'll come later. We'll get to that later.
What happens after that? There's so much
They go to school.
Yeah.
So Bobby, Coleman inside of Bobby's body, goes to school and is just going around talking to pretty much every girl, being like, Gina. And they're like, you're acting weird, Bobby. He's also wearing like nice clothes and a tie and everything. There's some bullies who are messing with him, and he's talking like a professor who's 70 years old instead of a kid. And eventually he sees a girl, Lainey, tugging on her lip, which is something that his wife did a lot. So he starts, trying to spy on her and talk to her and stuff. Really creepily.
Yeah.
Then
I have a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had this experience. Am I wrong for thinking that almost every kid in that high school, I'm like, that's some pretty cool outfits you're working with?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me love the 80s.
There's a big focus on their fashion. Like there's a lot of like in front of the mirror montages of trying on different outfits. Like that happens multiple times in the movie. Everyone is super obsessed with like their sense of style, and I am honestly really here for it.
Also, the music I loved. It's all 80s music, which really appeals to me. But after that, I don't really remember. he keeps trying to get Lainey or whatever, and takes her to the house and is like, yeah, I'm watching it for these old people.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. And he tries to kiss her. She gets upset. Corey Haim tells him, Corey Feldman tells him to go watch some videos in his basement to learn how to talk like a kid. So he starts saying dude all the time. It's pretty funny.
It's a good cover.
Yeah. There's so much in between. They get in a fight. He gets twice. He gets in a fight, and one time he gets beat up by the bullies.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
But before that, he beats up the bullies.
Yeah. Because they're beating up Corey Haim and his broken leg.
Yeah, and he uses his dream meditative stance.
Yeah.
To take down the guy.
Yeah.
Also, at one point, Corey Haim says, "Why am I running? I have a broken leg," and I love that line.
It's a great line.
Yeah. Well-adjusted Joel continues to be well-adjusted.
And Joel.
Joel.
Yeah, there's
Lainey's-
a lot of cuts to him with his therapist where he really sort of discusses his own personal insecurities, and he goes, "But really, I can't hold on to her, even though I love her. You know, if you love something, you gotta let it go." And that's sort of Joel's philosophy throughout this movie.
And gosh, at the dance, does he let her go after giving her a big shove? I think that might be one of the greatest shoves I've ever seen in a film. The way her body he just yeets her out of the camera. It's beautiful how smooth of a shove it is. It's horrible because domestic abuse and all.
Yes.
Gosh, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. And she just flat back falls on the ground.
I don't remember this at all.
Oh, you'll have to go back. It's great.
I'll have to go back and look.
On the second viewing.
It comes through on the second viewing.
It really broke new ground, I thought.
Lainey's mom is also well-adjusted, like Joel. She's like, "You should go with Joel," and she's like, "Yeah, but Joel's not really he's very well-adjusted." And
He's too well-adjusted.
He's too well-adjusted.
I like Bad Boys.
She's like, "Yeah, but he's going to go to college."
Does her mom also drug her?
Yeah, that's later though.
Wait, what?
I'm
That's the
losing
last
track of
night.
when things happen.
I forgot that part. I'd not.
I really liked Bobby's parents who kept saying to the other one, "Ask him this or tell him this."
Oh yeah.
They never directly talked to him without.
Bobby's dad
having the
refused
other
to engage with Bobby.
And the mom kept messing up her lines.
Did she?
Yeah, there were multiple times where she would start to say a line and then she would go, and then she would just say a completely different line.
Beautiful.
How do you know those were the wrong lines?
That could have been scripted.
Some of them
Just
she said
completely
later.
She's a really good actor.
Oh, I guess so.
It's such a layered performance. You never can tell.
She's doing a great performance as a bad actor.
Imagine if that was those are your script instructions on set. Be Corey Feldman, but really bad.
He went, okay.
I don't know if I can do this.
Is that what he sounds like?
I don't know if I can do this. Sorry, I had to get my Corey Feldman right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think in 20 years they'll make a version of this movie where Corey Feldman plays the old man? Because
I
he's
hope
49 right now.
That would be
They can do
beautiful.
this.
Who
They need to
plays
do this.
who plays the young Corey Feldman
Sean Astin.
Sean
Dylan Cole's-
Astin? In 30 years.
It would have to be probably somebody who hasn't been born yet.
I guess that's true.
I hate to say it
yeah.
because unless we can hypothesize a time where
Stranger
Corey-
Things crowd.
where Corey is old, but it's just somebody who's that right age. Timothy Chalamet. We'll put him in there.
He's a baby.
He is perpetually a baby. He's the new Michael
We
Cera.
could do it for him to be the same age as Jason Robards. I think 10 years, because I think Jason Robards, if I'm looking at this right.
Oh,
No, wait. He would have been 69.
Nice.
nice.
Yeah, he would have been 69, so 20 years.
Ooh. So that's, yeah, we're gonna have to wait.
We could just age down someone a lot. Like the Irishman. Have Robert De Niro
Oh, we
play
should
the
digitally
younger
DH
kid.
them. Try to kick somebody.
I think
This is so slow.
I think Kyle Massey could very easily play this hype.
Kyle Massey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
aka Corey Baxter from That's a Raven and Corey in the House.
Oh,
I
okay.
suppose.
That way we keep
We do need a young Corey.
Yeah, that's true.
because I really wanted this to be tied in with the That's a Raven cinematic universe, and I think this is the way to do it.
There were definitely some clues.
Yeah. So the next day, which I think this is like the last day, Corey fell into
Dawn of
the
the
dream
final
stuff.
day.
Yeah, he's like, hey, this is your last day. If you don't get her, she's going to be gone forever. And he's like, why don't you tell me? And he's like, also, you keep ruining my life. Stop that. And then Coleman wakes up as Bobby again and goes to take the SAT, which he finishes very quickly and says, some of the questions were wrong on their face, so I went ahead and fixed them for you.
I did like that. There are like two things about this movie that I actually semi-enjoyed. And I think despite
It's not
the
Corey
performance,
and Corey.
Is Corey and Corey. Despite the poor performance of Corey Feldman pretending to be an older man, the words that he was saying, I think were pretending. The words that he was saying, I think were often like, okay. I thought that line was pretty funny. That sounds like something a 70-year-old professor would do, is say the questions were wrong on their face during the standardized SATs. I also liked when he yelled at his parents for never talking to him directly. I thought that was semi-decent.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
And then he's like,
otherwise, not good.
he also says, I got to go to the dance. I'm going to miss you all. And they're like, when he gets back, ask him what he meant by that.
His dad does, yeah.
They take the SAT. Him and Laney get ready to kiss outside when Corey Haim comes in and messes with them for a minute and says, you don't have to worry about me, but well-adjusted Joel is on his way. Well-adjusted Joel gets out there. A fight breaks out with the bullies, and the teacher comes and drags them all in as Corey Haim keeps yelling, but I didn't do anything. Over and over again, which he didn't do anything.
Yeah. He should have pled the fifth.
Yeah. He's not. He did not pass those SATs.
There were a lot of instances of kids not making use of their constitutional rights.
I mean, we did have
Full stop.
Coleman as Bobby did say they're not teaching kids any hope in schools nowadays, and hope includes your constitutional rights to the Fifth Amendment. It was
They
a
don't
really
even
subtle.
know they don't have to quarter soldiers. They just have to sit down and take it, they think.
Oh, that's so sad.
That is so sad.
They eventually go to the dance, and well-adjusted Joel, being well-adjusted, does not have a lot of alcohol to drink
Yeah.
and gets drunk.
He has a well-adjusted flask, which is the appropriate size.
He well-adjusts Laney's posture in the middle of the gym.
About 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Perfect. Vertical to horizontal twist.
They run out. The bullies trip Joel, and he's mad about
Which
that.
is a fun twist because those bullies have really been playing against all sides.
They're true chaos.
They're chaotic neutral. Or chaotic good? I don't know. It depends on your view, I guess.
Depends on who they're fighting.
Yeah.
But Laney, now believing Bobby that he's really an old man, goes with Bobby, and they go and they start. Yeah,
I think she should have believed him when he ate that tofu, that raw tofu.
yeah, that was rough. And when he ordered whatever it was at that restaurant, when he took her to the old people restaurant,
Ordered a fresh squash.
Oh,
they start doing the
That's for him.
they start doing the experiment thing again. When Corey Haim's like, bro, well-adjusted, Joel's about to do some. He's about to be very well-adjusted. Because well-adjusted Joel had a gun and
Joel
was like, he pushed Corey Haim out of his car, then threw his cane out. Drove away.
Joel wants to share his well-adjusted perspective on life with you permanently.
So they go to like some party or whatever that the bullies are throwing, or like, well, just a Joel does, and
it's in
Laney,
the alley where the like bullies hang out at this club, and it's in the alley where the entrance to the club is.
Yeah.
The best place to be.
That's where I host all my parties.
Well-adjusted Joel went there to evangelize.
Yeah. He wants everyone to be well-adjusted.
He's here to change souls and change lives.
Laney's mom and her boyfriend get there and are like, Laney, you're coming with us. We don't like Bobby. We like well-adjusted Joel.
This is the first time we see her boyfriend.
Yeah, his name is Ron.
She has a boyfriend. And is he just the biggest nerd?
He's like, Ron and he has a mustache.
He's a simp.
Yeah.
Hard simp.
He's definitely simp.
But
I don't know about that.
Bobby lets her go and says, I'll be over tonight. And they're like, no, you won't. And he's like, I'll be over tonight. And they go to get well-adjusted Joel. In the meanwhile, Laney's mom has her boyfriend drug Laney to make her fall asleep, which if she falls asleep, they lose.
Oh, is that
Gina.
what happened?
Yeah.
I missed this. Yeah.
He pours something into like the champagne or whatever it is.
And then it's like, so he walks on. He's like, hey, drink this. Because if she falls asleep, they lose Gina. So Coleman's like, don't fall asleep. But they go, well-adjusted Joel has his pistol well-adjusted to the bully's head. And they all pull up. And Bobby goes on this long speech about how well-adjusted they could all be if Joel just adjusted his pistol to its holster.
Logical conclusion.
Yeah. And he does this long speech.
A beer bottle to his lips.
He does this long speech, and he's like, in 20 years, I'm going to think of this bully guy. I'm going to be like, hey, he was a jerk, but he was one of my friends. Aren't we friends? And they're like, yeah. Joel keeps saying, Bobby, I'm well-adjusted. I'm going to adjust over here, but if you don't stop, I'm mad at you still because you took Laney. Stuff happens. They talk. Everything gets settled, and they go to get...
I also like how well-adjusted Joel is going to pop a well-adjusted cap in this bully's head because...
He tripped him?
Bobby's stole his girlfriend?
Yeah.
He's like, you humiliated me.
The bully because of something Bobby did?
The bullies who have no alliance with Bobby are going to take the fall.
Yeah.
Because well-adjusted Joel is just looking for a victim to adjust well.
Well,
the bullies are really just like trying to balance justice in this world.
Yeah.
They're the protagonists.
They're like the three blind seers.
well-adjusted Joel also he informs everyone through his actions that he's not going to shoot anyone in the most well-adjusted way possible, which is to walk right up to the bully with the gun in his hand, wait, builds this well-adjusted suspense, and then discard all the bullets, which is...
After he's been talked off the ledge, yeah.
Yeah. And the bully starts smoking. He immediately starts smoking, and you see... it's silhouetted because you can't really see him too well because of the light, but you can tell he's smoking. And the rest Bobby,
What'd you say?
I said, and while he's sitting there doing that, and he's like, I'm not going to die. The rest of them just go and have a beer together.
Including Joel, I think.
Yeah, Joel does.
They talk Joel off the ledge. Come on, man, just hang out in the car and have a beer with us. Honestly, it's cool. You don't need to shoot anybody. We'll just vibe.
Yeah. That bully is just like reevaluating his entire life, and his friends are just left with this rookie murderer.
These beers used to be too cold, but they've been pretty well adjusted at this point.
Bobby goes to Laney's house. Her parents won't let him in, and he's like, "Okay, I understand." So, in typical,
and then 2 seconds later,
in typical '80s fashion. There's a lattice you can climb up to the second story.
It's my favorite part of American architecture is building a ladder into the house. That way somebody can climb up in the dead of night using the vines.
And then he punches out the window and opens it. And he's like, no, she's asleep. And he starts yelling Gina really loudly. So obviously the mom hears him and runs up there and they toss him out of the house.
He's just shaking her asleep body.
Yeah, getting blood all over her because his hand's bleeding.
His blood gets everywhere.
So it looks like Bobby has murdered Laney.
He goes out, gets thrown outside, and this is where he's laying there, and it like fades him out, and then he's just walking around. Then I guess he dreams again or something, and then Corey Feldman's like, I got you. She's not actually gone, and then they reverse it or something.
Yeah.
Next thing you know,
I was like, I just wanted to make it seem kind of tense.
it makes for a good story.
It makes for a good story. I
Who-
don't understand what the solution was.
I don't think they ever said.
I don't think there was a solution. I think it just fixed itself after 3 days.
Or maybe Corey Feldman had to agree to it. And he finally said, okay.
Did he agree to it in that bike ride?
I hope
you
so.
mean to end it?
Yeah.
But then at that point, why would he agree to it? Because the old
He's
man
got
was
Laney.
completely messing up his life.
But Laney likes him now.
But Laney likes the old man. Who might I
But-
add, the old man kissed Laney as Corey Feldman, which is cheating. So I guess he got back at his wife.
Yeah.
But
Take that,
also,
Ron.
It's also
she's a minor.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's 18 or not. But
It's a
she's
Twilight
close.
situation.
I think the law only applies to the age of the body, Kylan, not the age of the mind.
Well, no, I'm just talking about she took the SATs, so she may be a
This is what they call
senior.
loophole.
But yeah. Then Bobby's walking with Laney about to go do the shortcut through their yard, and the old man's like, you can shortcut through our yard anytime you like. And he's like, I think we'll go around. He's like, I insist, go through the yard. And he's like, we'll go around. His wife doesn't remember anything, and the movie ends.
I also love how, up until that point, the old man still doesn't like this kid.
Yeah.
Like, they're not friends.
I don't get why he likes him now. The kid like made him stay that way apparently for like 3 days, thinking he was going to lose his wife.
They
forever.
worked through it. You know, he's well adjusted. He's not going to hold grudges.
He met Joel.
You met
It
Joel.
really helped him out.
There are other kids to be worried about.
Joel, who goes on to become a psychologist and/or chiropractor.
But yeah, that's the movie.
Incredible.
It's a beautiful film.
I did think it was fun, at least.
I enjoyed it.
I think the plot was pretty nonsensical, and they didn't explain anything.
Mm.
But gosh, it was fun, and there was some really funny lines, and you gotta love the Coreys.
Yeah, you gotta love the two Coreys.
All right. Well, I believe that takes us to trivia.
Takes us to trivia, which
That takes
me
us
and
to
Eli
trivia.
have prepared. So, Eli, I have 3 questions. I don't know how many you have.
I have 2.
Okay, so I can go with the first question, and then you.
Okay.
That way we can just swap out.
Sounds
So,
good.
across their careers, the 2 Coreys, as they are deemed, co-starred in multiple films. One of these we will be watching in the future. They were in another 0% movie together. Which film was it? A. Lost Boys: The Thirst. B. License to Drive. C. Blown Away. Or D. Lost Boys: The Tribe.
The options were Lost Boys: The Thirst, Lost Boys:
Yep.
The Drive, License to Drive, and
Blown Away.
Well, I think so it's definitely not A, right? Because Lost Boys: The Thirst is just Pokemon's Twitch following. So that's not even a real movie.
But Corey Feldman and Corey Haim are in that.
Are they? In this fake movie?
Oh, no, that's not the answer. I'm not saying what the answer is. I'm saying they're in that Twitch following.
yeah. Well, at least one.
Yeah.
Aim.
Not the one you think. Yeah. I would say the last one,
The last one, Lost Boys: The Tribe.
I'm gonna
The
go.
Tribe.
I'm gonna go with C.
You're going with Blown Away? Well, John, you are correct. That is the only other movie they made together that is on this list. However, Lost Boys: The Thirst is also on this list, but Corey Haim is not in it. Corey Haim is
Dang.
only in Lost Boys: The Tribe in a post-credit scene, but he is in it. So that is another movie that both of them are in that is on
That's
this list.
incredible.
Okay. During production of the film, they had a title that was not Dream a Little Dream. So what was the working title of the film? Was it A, Dream a Big Dream, B, Long Before Tomorrow, C, Long After Tomorrow, or D, From the Old to the New?
I'm gonna say
None
long
of-
before tomorrow.
Which one?
Long before tomorrow.
You're going for Long Before Tomorrow?
I think you forgot to put it in because I think it's pretty well known that they called it Three Key Thursday.
That is true. Well, this is the other working title.
Yeah. I would pick B.
B, Long Before Tomorrow?
You
were
didn't make
both
that up.
correct. No matter what you said,
He's
you're
not
both
creative.
It's too advanced.
Yeah, exactly. I do apologize. I couldn't find a reason for why it was named that. Just sort of seems like another name for no particular reason. Much like Dream a Little Dream seemed to be a name for no particular reason.
Hmm.
Because the song that they
Yeah, but
had.
Well, they had to dream a little dream.
It's a big dream.
It is
Yeah.
a big dream.
We're just living it.
Next question. This is
Wait,
a
what was
true-
the answer?
It was Long Before Tomorrow.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
What'd you pick, Sam?
I picked Long Before Tomorrow.
Dude,
Nice.
big brains out here.
So this is a true or false question. In the 2000s, the Coreys would co-star in a reality TV show about their daily lives. True or false?
True.
You're going true? Sam, you're going false?
For the suspense.
John is correct. It was called The Two Coreys. It came on from 2007 to 2008, spanning 2 seasons, and a big point of their adventures was that Corey Feldman played Corey Haim's wingman. After Corey Haim moved in with Corey Feldman and Corey Feldman's wife.
Beautiful.
They keep debating about like going to Lost Boys premieres and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, question number 3. Corey Haim's character Dinger had to be rewritten last minute, 4 days before shooting began, to accommodate an incident that happened to Corey Haim. What was the incident? Was it A, Haim got involved in a Ponzi scheme with the director and needed more screen time to cover his losses? Was it?
A real
it
Megaforce situation.
yeah. Well, I just assume a lot of people are in Ponzi
It
schemes.
happens a lot.
Yeah. Was it B, Haim broke his leg, and so they had to rewrite the character of Dinger to have a broken leg? Was it C, Haim was barely literate, and he needed shorter words in his lines so that he could understand them? Or was it D, that due to a friendship spat, Haim was briefly not friends with Corey Feldman, and they had to have scenes rewritten so that they were not together? Obviously, they are together in scenes. I'm saying that there are less. Which incident
This
occurred?
is a really tough trivia question.
B.
You're going B.
I'm gonna have to go with the Ponzi scheme.
You're going with the Ponzi scheme?
Yes.
It is B. He did, in fact, break his leg 4
Dang.
days before.
How did it
shooting.
happen?
I could not find out why.
I found out. He
Oh,
was
you found
teaching
out?
his mom how to ride a motorcycle, and she ran into, I can't remember if she ran into like a building or
Corey
something, but
Feldman.
either way, she wrecked it and broke his leg in the process.
Dang.
Dang.
I was hoping that he broke his leg because he owed money in a Ponzi scheme.
Because he owed money to the Ponzi scheme.
Barry Boskowitz shows up.
Next question, and I believe the final one. Actor Jason Robards, who portrayed Coleman, has won which of the following awards? A Tony. B, an Academy Award. C, an Emmy. D, the Good Conduct Medal of the Navy. Or E, all of the above.
Who?
Coleman.
Who's Coleman?
Actor Jason Robards.
The old man.
All of the above.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, the old man.
All of the above. And if he hasn't won any of those, I will personally present them to him.
I will also go with all of the above.
You are both correct. He's won one Tony, 2 Academy Awards, an Emmy, and he is one of 24 Triple Crown of Acting winners. He also won 4 awards because he fought in World War II.
Dang. Yeah, I've acted the Germans.
So he was in All the President's Men. He was in Philadelphia. The movie I knew him from was Once Upon a Time in the West. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He plays a very big role in Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, his other military awards were the American Defense Service Medal, the American Campaign Medal, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal.
Dang.
So very big actor all around. Did a lot of cool things apparently.
That's pretty cool.
I have one more fact. Both Coreys were addicted to cocaine during the film.
Yes.
So, nice. And Feldman really liked Michael Jackson, as we all know. Hence his Michael Jackson dancing moves during the montage.
I did wonder that.
Yeah. He was absolved. So, what's our next thing?
That's our sequel pitches, I believe.
Oh, man. Okay.
Which I have one ready
Mm-hmm.
if you all need time to think.
I do not have one ready, so please go ahead.
Okay, so my sequel pitch is this. We have Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm.
He goes into an Asian restaurant, and in the corner, he notices a mom and her daughter arguing, and the lights start flickering. And they have a 3-way soul exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So Corey Feldman is now a teenage girl. The teenage girl is now her mom, and her mom is now Corey Feldman, and they got to figure this out. It's basically the crossover between Freaky Friday and Dream a Little Dream.
Right.
Yeah.
The body swapping cinematic universe.
Yeah, yeah.
For a moment, I hope that you were going to say Corey Feldman goes into the body of the little girl. The little girl goes into the body of Corey Feldman, and the mom goes into the body of the mom. Each has to learn to live with their newfound responsibilities and gains an appreciation for the lives of the others.
It's raising Corey Feldman.
Raised in Arizona.
So the whole thing I could think of is, what if Corey Feldman moved to this big plantation house in the South, right? Because clearly that's where this movie is going. That's where the series is going, this IP. And he starts to investigate what the old man did, of course, as the English language would permit. And he starts to investigate. He figures out we can do more body swapping stuff here. And then he starts building up his family. He starts being a little obsessed with maybe a certain race, body swapping into a certain race, right? Nothing weird, nothing odd about it.
For understanding.
Just for understanding and for just purposes. So they start, his whole family, they start putting this whole thing together. He has a daughter one day. His daughter goes, and her job is to get in a relationship with a member of this certain race and bring them back for body swapping purposes. And then they all get murdered by that person because he stops them. And it's called Dream a Little Dream 2, Get Out.
Get on my dreams, please.
Get out of my head and into my car.
The TSA shows
starring
up.
Billy Ocean.
Starring Billy Ocean and Jordan Peele.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Thank you. Sam, John?
Sam, are you ready, or do you want me to stall for you?
Well, no, I think the perfect sequel to this movie. So eventually, the old married couple passes away. They're old, they're married, they're a couple. They pass away, and the house goes up for auction because he leaves. He doesn't leave the house to anyone. He forgets to leave it to his best friend who's having an affair with his wife. Well-adjusted friend, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it goes up for auction. And of course, Bobby is thinking, we got to buy this house. This old man was so kind to me for getting me Lainey and
Nice.
being in my body unwillingly. So they crowdsource the funds to buy it. And his first night in the house, he decides to sleep in the old man's bed. And when he sleeps, he notices the old man in his dream. The old man has now gone into the dream world for real. And he's there to stay. But the old man, what you didn't know was that the old man actually passed away from a house fire that his friend had. Now his face is all scarred up. And the old man had a very fancy knife collection. So he's constantly holding these knives in his hand. So he has this burnt face and these knives, and he's thinking, finally, I can get back at these kids in their dreams for stepping on my yard and my petunias. So then it's a slasher film. He goes and he starts murdering these boys in their dreams. It's called Dream a Killer Dream. Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was
Beautiful.
Freddy Krueger was before his time.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger was before his time, so he couldn't
Pretty
possibly.
crueler.
Yeah.
I'm interested that you all went for the cinematic tie-in. I really appreciate that. I've got a cinematic tie-in of my own, in a way. The sequel to Dream a Little Dream is not a film. Some would call it a way of life, aka a television/reality show, in which, look, you're 49 years old, the year's 2020, your name's Corey Feldman, and you're trying to cash in on the craze that is Dream a Little Dream.
Right.
We saw some body swapping going on during that movie. The old became the young, and the young didn't become the old because they stayed in their own bodies in the back of their mind. But what if we brought Dream a Little Dream to the real world? Now, I know what you're thinking, Mr. Executive. Why did I hit the emergency alarm on the elevator? Well, I just need a little longer for this pitch. I'm proposing a reality show / PSA that involves now old Corey Feldman, and he is borrowing kids' phones and going on their Tinder profile, and he is chatting up people. Because really, our phones are just our bodies in the 21st century.
That's true.
You know, he's entering Bobby's mind literally. Now he's entering his phone extra literally. I don't know. I think the concept is very amusing to me. It's just him sitting the whole time and just being like, how do I got to get these matches up.
Mhm.
I got to match with Lainey, but it might be Gina. You never know. Maybe there's a game show element. There's a secret Gina. You got to find her. You got to eat some raw tofu on a Tinder date. Anyways, we can keep workshopping this. I'll let you go, but remember
Speaking
me.
of Gina, I
Here's
have
my
another thing that the movie confused me about. Why did Gina have no idea what was happening, yet Coleman did?
I
they
didn't
both-
understand that.
Yeah, it was never explained.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Sam.
So I think this is a good point that I wondered. And what I think happened is that, you know how dude's body went into like the back of his mind and he was still in there. Like his soul was still in there, but the old dude was now controlling him.
Yeah.
I think what we were supposed to think is that Gina's soul went into Lainey, but wasn't controlling Lainey. So Gina kept telling Lainey stuff in dreams, and Lainey would forget.
Right. I was just wondering why she wasn't controlling. Like, because it seemed that Coleman didn't, do it on purpose. He didn't know, hey, I'm going to automatically go to controlling this.
Mm.
It just sort of happened. Was it just like a coin flip?
He wasn't as invested in the dream experiment, So
My understanding was that Gina was totally aware and in control, but she just thought Coleman was really annoying, and she was trying to play it, play a little reserved.
her way out.
Yeah.
Now, there was a sequel to this.
There was.
And luckily, one of us, not me, read the Wikipedia page for it. If he is willing to,
Yes.
John, you also read it?
I did read the Wikipedia page for this, but please go ahead, Eli.
It's something else, isn't it, John? It doesn't go the way I thought it would.
No.
Not one bit. I'm kind of concerned about whoever decided to make this movie. And honestly, I might watch it just because it sounds so dumb and it seems so disconnected from the previous film. But just based off of the small plot summary that's on Wikipedia, the two Coreys are protagonists, are anime protagonists, find themselves with a pair of sunglasses. I mean, 2 pair of sunglasses, in case you didn't understand.
In case you're stupid.
In case you're a fool and ignoramus. So these are not normal sunglasses, however. When 2 people are wearing both sunglasses, right? So one person's wearing sunglasses and the other person is wearing the other pair of sunglasses.
Got it.
Well, you got to get these rules nailed down that don't make any sense, like the previous film. So both of them are wearing sunglasses. One person can manipulate the other person physically to do whatever the first person wants them to do. And the plot is that they find them, and then the original owners will stop at nothing to get them back from the 2 Coreys. And I don't understand how that's in any way related to the movie that we just watched, other than it has some sort of vaguely, it's not even, so we're even changing, this isn't like some Eastern yoga thing, mind thing. This is like an experiment, like a science experiment. So we've completely gotten rid of the spirituality aspect of the film. We've gotten rid of the old versus like the young. This is just a couple of kids find some sunglasses. I also don't understand what the purpose of these sunglasses are, where you have to finagle someone to wear a pair of sunglasses before you can get them to do something. It just seems like the most convoluted way to control someone.
I really wish some critic would have rated this so that we would be forced to do an episode on it.
I mean, we could.
Yeah.
We could.
There's
It's in the
nothing
Apocrypha.
Yeah.
What a wild film.
Yeah.
So
Really pulling
is
a
anyone
bigger,
else
fatter liar.
is anyone else from the original in that, or just the 2 Coreys?
I'm gonna say probably no,
Just the Coreys? I mean, that's all we need.
but I'll double check for you.
Corey Feldman composed the music for that movie.
For Dream a Little Dream 2?
Yeah.
Dang. I know someone who, and by that I mean I met him at a concert by going backstage because I knew a person. And I met someone who sung on the Dream a Little Dream soundtrack. Mike Reno,
Frank
the
Sinatra.
lead singer of the band Loverboy.
Dang. Dude.
So I am 1 degree of separation away from
We
the
should have gotten
production of Dream a Little Dream.
We should have gotten him on the show. Talk
I
about
have
Dream a
no-
Little Dream.
I bet he would have thoughts after that one song he sang for it.
You think he still thinks about it?
I hope so.
I think he knows that his song's even in that movie.
Well, it said CBS on IMDb let them do it, so I'm assuming they went to him for this.
Gotcha.
You would think.
This is
At
great
least
compliment.
that's what I hope.
Fair enough.
Hope and pray.
So, do we want to move on to our changes to the film?
Yes. Let's do it.
Now, my change is something I thought about as I was watching it. And for my change to work, everything else would be the same. The 2 Coreys are obviously there. But for mine to work, not only will we need to bring in a new actor, who I will name shortly, we would need to bring someone else in who has experience with acting like this actor to talk to Corey Feldman and help coach him. So we would need to bring John Hamm in to explain how Corey Feldman can act like Larry David. Larry David is Coleman.
Perfect.
That is the only way you can make this movie better, I
I
think.
support this change 100%.
That's a
Get rid
very
of that
good change.
Academy Award winning actor. Bring in Larry
Boy.
David. Oh man. This is difficult because I feel like there are so many sweeping changes that are needed to make this movie
All the editing.
understandable at all.
I would make Joel actually well-adjusted.
Just get rid of
He
that.
still does all the things that he does.
No,
It just
But he
it
has
would
a
be
good reason
nickname.
for them.
a really good reason.
I think Coleman should have actually been in the movie for most of the movie.
No.
He wasn't Larry David, that's why.
What would you have him do, Sam?
You know, he just live there and be old and cranky. I think I think the only thing that he would do is step on the flowers.
Just stomp on some flowers.
Yeah, because it's the
Wait.
one thing the old man didn't want him to do.
So,
Well, Coleman is the old man.
Well, yes, but I mean, like, as the boy.
Oh,
Yeah, like, I think they actually should have swapped bodies.
okay.
makes sense.
I agree.
I do wish, this isn't my change. I wish that there was more introduction to the characters, which seems like such a horrible thing because this movie's like 2 hours long of nothing. But like, I feel like you're just thrown in and they're already body swapped before you even know who they are, really. So maybe they could have cut out all the hanging around school for no reason stuff.
I think there are a lot of jump cuts that try to help you know who these people are that do nothing for you. And
Yeah,
nothing.
a lot of
Yeah.
ADR.
There's a solid 15 seconds of just well-adjusted Joel drinking out of his well-adjusted flask. But
Those are good parts of the movie, though.
Yeah.
It took me a while to figure out that well-adjusted Joel and the bully were not the same person.
They kind of should be. I feel like they should be.
Wasn't well-adjusted Joel best friends with Bobby prior to the start of the movie?
They were really good friends. I think his best friend is the other Corey, though.
like
No, I
they're,
don't think so.
they're really
Corey
good
stick together.
the whole movie.
My actual change would be that rather than properly swapping bodies, just a comical set of circumstances lead to them to Coleman and Bobby getting handcuffed together, and now they have to live their life out this way.
They thing with two heads on.
Yeah.
So I had something I thought was really funny, and then I forgot it. So
That means he had nothing ever.
that means I didn't actually have anything to as a stall cover. I guess what I would do is maybe, I don't know. I got nothing. I'm literally blanking so hard right now.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll
It's
put it.
sad.
We'll cut
was
it in.
really funny. We'll edit it in.
We'll edit
You
it
could just
in.
say fix the editing.
Well, but no, I had something even better. Fix the editing. That's my answer, I guess. If I think of it later, I'll bring it up again.
Yeah. I'll splice it in.
Thank you. Yeah.
Shall we move on to superlatives then?
Please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of what my thing was because it was the same thing as my superlative. I would want well-adjusted Joel to just shove another woman. Just if he could have just.
Why is that should change?
It was my favorite part of the movie. I kind of just wish every time he walked into frame, he just shoved someone just like full out of frame.
He's like the clumsy character from Roller Boogie.
Crash Course Conway.
Conway.
Yeah.
Kanye West.
Zero Control Kanye.
Yeah, I do. Well, basically, yeah. I just want every time he enters a scene, he just pushes someone, they go flying, and then the scene just continues as normal. Like everyone just.
That's just Joel. He's well adjusted.
What if during the first half of the movie he did that, and then the second half of the movie, in random scenes, you just see people fall into the scene.
You know Joel's
They say,
coming.
Joel's coming. Get out.
It's like on sitcoms when you see the door slam open, you know the neighbor's about to walk in. You see someone
Yes.
come flying, and you know it's Joel.
And there's only a live studio audience like applause, but just for when Joel shoves somebody.
Do you think we could give? I'm interested to see what all of you guys would think of to be Joel's catchphrase as he does this.
Oh man. As he
I'm going to college.
go to college.
Get out of my way, college is that way.
I can't remember a single line he said in the whole movie.
I like to think his catchphrase is something along the lines of, "Here's your adjustment."
He does that.
Yeah, he actually says.
He does the attitude adjuster.
John
So
Cena.
John Cena? Yeah. He steals it. John Cena shows up at the end, but no one can see him.
I think I would have him say every time, I would just go, "Whoopsies, Big J coming through."
I
think it would bump the movie up a few stars. If Joel's name, if they casually mentioned that Joel's name was spelled with a G instead of a J.
Wait, it can go up
That's
more
why
stars?
he's so well adjusted.
Yeah,
You're implying there's room to improve it, Sam. I will not have that.
I think though this one change, if we can go back to change it for a second, this one change would improve the movie.
It would take it from like 10 stars to 13.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So we're going to superlative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Superlative.
Yes.
So, my superlative. Best use of a Corey tripping a wide receiver with a cane.
Incredible. I've never seen that one before.
It's the best one ever.
I would like to award a superlative to Lainey's mother and mother's boyfriend for sneakiest roofie of your daughter.
That's a contested category, so that's impressive.
It is. I think they tie for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we all know what my superlative is going to be. Cleanest, most crisp shove of a woman out of frame by well-adjusted Joel. It's so beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. I think if there was a national competition, well-adjusted Joel would be he'd be turning a few heads. Eyes would be on him. Is all I'm saying. So
He ends up in like those slapping videos that you see online. I would say my superlative is the most dexterity and finesse demonstrated in a Corey punching through the glass of a window only to immediately contort his hand to flip the window latch, which seemed almost effortless, seems like such an awkward process to actually try to demonstrate, especially when you're bleeding. But
He had experience.
He did it immediately.
How do you think
Frighteningly fast.
okay.
We're going to move on to our what we're giving this bad boy out of 10. And did it deserve a 0% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm gonna say it did not deserve a 0%, despite some wooden acting and a nonsensical plot. It wasn't irredeemable. So no, I wouldn't say 0%. I'd probably give it like 3.5 out of 10, something like that.
I was going to give it a 4 out of 10. I also don't think it deserved a 0%. I think with a few minor changes, in all seriousness, it wouldn't be that bad of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it could have used a little more love. A few more months of letting that guy's leg heal. They would have been in business.
Let him build up to full strength. Why
Yeah.
am I running? I have a broken leg.
Get that money for the Ponzi scheme.
I think even as is, this movie's pretty fun.
Yeah.
This would be a fun movie to watch with a group.
Yeah.
This movie deserves a 0%. And I would give it probably 4 stars out of 10.
Going with John's, it being fun. I see it as there are two groups of movies. There's art, like The Master by Paul Joseph Anderson, or Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
That I know is good, but God, I do not want to watch it. Versus this, which I know is bad, but God, I want to watch it again. Does not deserve a 0%. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 10.
Nice.
I think of the ones we've seen, I'm putting it top 5.
Oh wow, that's big praise.
I enjoy the Coreys. I thought it was funny. It didn't make sense, but it didn't need to when you have Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. And well-adjusted Joel.
Well-adjusted Joel.
Star of the show.
Part. Yeah. That shove, man. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. It's so good.
For anyone watching this is free on Amazon Prime if you have that.
Is it?
So, yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
why I watched. That's how I watched it.
Dang, I watched it on Tubi like a dope.
It's on Tubi as well.
I had an ad blocker. I didn't see any of the ads. It was fine.
I also watch.
God, I highly suggest that you take a look at that shove. Whoever is listening. It's
Watch it on replay.
I'm gonna the instant replay. I'm gonna watch it right after we get off of this podcast.
I need football recruiters out there.
Joel's going to college.
Yeah,
he's playing
going
college
to go play. So, John, I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, are you a fan of Parker Anderson? Because next week we have Police Academy 6.
As if.
We have another Police Academy.
He's a good kid. He's a good kid.
Well,
I know he means his best, even though he says the wrong thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes he calls me well-adjusted Joel, even though he knows my name's Kevin.
So true.
Yeah, that is my way of saying next episode is Police Academy 6.
Wait, does that mean that special guest Police Academy correspondent Parker Anderson will be back for his third appearance on the Oscars in episode 17, aka Police Academy 6?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's kind of a letdown.
I can't believe we're more than halfway to another review of the last 10 movies we've watched.
Oh, yeah, we are.
That's true. That's true.
So after Police Academy, we'll have 3 more, which will be Problem Child, Madhouse, and Highlander 2, The Quickening.
I'm really excited for Highlander 2.
Highlander 2. Incredible. Well, I look forward to that. That's going to be a good time. I do want to hurry and wrap up the next 10 that way, because I barely remember this set. So,
yeah.
All right. Thank you all.
Oh,
thank you.
Before we leave,
Sam.
I feel like, Sam, thank you so much for appearing. We really appreciated your presence here. A great addition.
Thanks for having me. I will again iterate that you all are no longer going to be fired or at risk of being fired from this podcast I own now that I've been. So
we did it, guys.
God, I have a mortgage payment.
Is there anything you want to plug?
What was that said?
Is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I'd like to plug my podcast, Zero Oscars. Review movies that have gotten a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So if you can check out it, that'd be.
That sounds like a really good idea for a podcast.
You read that script really well.
No one really likes it, but we still do it.
Yeah, 0 5 stars.
Yeah.
All right. Farewell, lads. I'll see you all next week.
Farewell.